I think it's no small thing that this company created the first zero waste hauling service in Omaha. And that's really what drew me to this industry, is the possibilities of what a company like this can do here in Omaha in this type of place, knowing this is where the waste industry is going to go.
And I was a home builder at the time. We were selling a lot of houses, and I wanted to figure out a way to kind of capitalize on some kind of after the sale market. And I was actually finishing up a house, and I saw a Papillion Sanitation garbage truck come around the corner. I'm like, how hard can that be? You know, so went and bought our first garbage truck. Our first route took us about 20 minutes to complete. Now we have 5 trucks on the road every day. We noticed our landfill rates would really spike during the summertime because we were hauling a lot of yard waste, so we're trying to figure out ways to reduce costs. And one of those ways we found out was the compost. So we started composting for the first time in the spring of 2011. We actually found a farmer here that was willing to lease us 5 acres just to get it started. We had nothing more than a skid steer and a tractor and a turner. That was it. The Zupu, yeah, you can see, well, it's probably back there. Okay. Anything with all that hay in it. And that stuff, it's a shit that you've never smelled before. I mean, it is different. We came up with the idea that it'd be a lot easier to walk into a place of business and call it Hillside Solutions, just so that way it was kind of the umbrella company for Gretna Sanitation and Soil Dynamics and the concierge service,
which now all work together to help find people in our community that have sustainability goals, that want to do things with their waste other than put it in the landfill.
We're more of a waste solutions company is what Hillside is. That brownish stuff down there, that's all horse manure. The stuff next to it, that's zoo manure, which is about that half of the pile over there too. And it wasn't until we started making compost, started using it on our own gardens and lawns and all that, that we found out just how powerful it is and how well it works, and that we could do a lot of growing, all of our growing, as it turns out, without any chemicals, without any fertilizer. And then it's also fun to be able to have our kids out in the garden picking strawberries right off the vine and not having to worry about any kind of chemicals or anything like that. They just pick them and eat them. My son just jams tomatoes in his mouth like it's going out of style. Green, doesn't matter what color they are, he just eats them all. Okay, so this is all the food waste that came from Earth Day, Omaha. This is all compost. We'll compost all this. All this will turn to that. Growing up on a farm and then having grandparents that survived the Depression, we didn't waste anything. That part of it's important to me. I just hate the waste. I hate seeing all the waste, especially when it can be reused into something that is of value, and that I now know from my own experience using it on my own yard and fruit trees and ornamentals and everything I plant around the house, and I can see how powerful the stuff is, how well it works, how much water it retains, not having to water my yard anymore, and I have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood, you know, things like that. Start getting green grass. We more or less drank the Kool-Aid on compost. And it's sort of changed our lives. Horse manure. We mix a certain ratio together, and then we just build these windrows, and then we just turn it periodically. We watch the temperatures, and after we've figured out our recipes, you know, which takes some time, it's simple after that. You know, composting isn't that hard. Well, when I met my wife, she didn't recycle at all, and now we're recycling. You know, we compost all our food waste that comes out of the house, and when I'm on a garbage truck, you'll drive by these houses, and they'll have 2 96-gallon, sometimes 3 96-gallons cans of just trash going to landfill every week. It's just amazing to me from our own standpoint how much we've been able to reduce. Yeah. So on an annual basis, we divert close to 5,000 tons of organic waste from the landfill, I would say. So see all this plastic? Yeah. It never goes away. Never goes away. It's here forever. Either we're going to have to deal with it or our kids are. You know, that's all there is to it. If we're not going to take up the battle axe and fight this huge amount of waste going to the landfill, our kids are going to have to. I don't care how much life you have left in a landfill. Someday that thing's going to be full, and someday we got to put up another one, and where does it go? You know, there's no better time than the present to start thinking about this stuff, start doing stuff. There's companies like ours that are ready to come and help your business become more sustainable. And yes, are you going to be spending a little bit more money? Sure, but your trash bill's still going to be the cheapest bill on your desk every month. Guaranteed. It's still the cheapest bill you have. And at the same time, you're doing the right thing. you don't necessarily have to think about it as spending more money on waste, because this is something that you should be proud of. This is something that you should be able to show your customers that you're a sustainable, forward-thinking individual company. It's the full circle, right? I mean, all this stuff was compost once and it'll become compost again.
One day, recycling, composting, having conversations around how to achieve zero waste within your organization will be the standard. I mean, it just be the default. It will be what everybody does. And here in Omaha, Nebraska, right now in 2018, a company exists that is having those conversations with businesses and helping them advance their cause of wanting to be sustainable. How can you not want to be a part of a movement like that?
Here we got this.